politics in the world?
Yeah,
or
this past
world
week.
Events?
This past week, Trump was up in Alaska meeting Vladimir Putin, and they were discussing the whole situation that's still ongoing in Ukraine.
This meeting felt like nothing happened.
Well, you really
unfortunately,
really jump into the end again. You love doing that, don't you? They met. Nothing happened. All right, have a good day, everybody.
Yeah, that was a quick episode.
That was a quick one. That'll be our short.
That's the takeaway.
Well, yeah.
It was unfortunate.
Ultimately,
Yeah.
But there's this one.
Here, all right, fine. We won't jump to the end. Let me start with, they were supposed to have lunch, right? This was part of the meeting. The lunch was scrapped, and the menu for the lunch leaked, and it looked like a good lunch.
So this is what you're upset
So you're
about
upset that they... Do you want more pictures? Can you have any pictures of food for him, please?
Did you get pictures of what they were supposed to have?
Filet mignon was the main course.
Ooh, I love
I
fish.
like filet.
The first course was like some kind of fish salad.
Oh God.
And then they were supposed to have creme brulee for dessert.
Well, they were in Alaska.
Oh, I love creme
They're known
brulee.
for their
Fish. Yeah. Not their filet mignon, but who could say no to filet mignon?
Well, as soon as Putin landed, and he greeted President Trump on the red carpet. People are up in arms about this red carpet too. I'm like, put that out for everybody. Everyone gets a red carpet.
Normal.
But he's a war criminal. I mean, just to take the other side, he is a war criminal. I mean, this is...
But there's a lot of people that say you shouldn't even be meeting with him.
Sure. Well, right.
Which is insane.
Well,
because that's the only way you're going to get things done.
You can't make progress without talking.
Yes.
I'm for the summit, and I think that some good things happen out of that, and we'll get into that. But
really?
There were some, you can see it negatively also, because he is a war criminal. I mean, they have over 30,000 Ukrainian children that they kidnapped, and they have in Russia.
Nice, but not really.
No, I know. But, so you don't want to be fawning over him too much.
But then I think
and this did open him back up to the world stage, because he's been secluded for years.
Sure.
And this helps him. It does definitely
I do
win
think
for
that
Putin.
he's kind of like Trump in a way. You have to almost stroke his ego to get something out of him.
And that's one of the things that people were saying. I mean, you do, if you want to take steps towards, you weren't going to sit down with him and solve this and come to a compromise that day.
No, absolutely not.
So that's what some people are saying, is this is what he was kind of requiring to sit down at all.
No.
If you do this, I will come to this meeting.
Can I point something out here too? And I get that we want to help with a resolution, but at the end of the day, if you're the president who's the lauded deal maker, I'm the best president for making deals. Why do you need to put yourself in a position to ingratiate Vladimir Putin? Hold on, when we're not even the country at war with them. Right?
That's true.
Right. We don't have to give up anything. We're just trying to broker.
We don't have to give. That's right. But so, that's why Trump is really putting a lot of. He's really putting a lot of his political clout into trying to solve this. I mean, I feel like on a personal note, he really wants a Nobel Peace Prize.
He would love that.
He really, but he's really trying to end this war. Yeah. And even most of the world is calling on the United States to try to get this to the table.
I think all these people dying does, I mean, it should bother you.
Absolutely.
We're not saying that. No, I'm just talking about though, it's like saying I took something from art and you're going to come to me to make the deal to get it back. But you don't actually have to.
Do I have to? No.
No, well, you're doing it because you care about art and you want to help art out.
In that case,
that's the whole point, though. Marco Rubio was on doing a lot of stuff yesterday on TV, and he had a lot of good points. Yeah. And the thing he was saying was, you aren't going to solve this without Ukraine at the table anyway right now. Just us meeting with...
And that's a problem.
Like you're saying, we're not one of the parties. We're just trying to broker.
We're supposed to be a facilitator.
Right, and that's what we're trying to do.
But like you just said, you can't facilitate when you have one party here and you're the facilitator and you don't have the other party.
But that's why this was the first step.
This was step one.
We were meeting with Putin to try to get the two of them at the table together.
And today...
I feel like this is like step 20. Like they've been talking about this for a while.
The thing is, we could have... With all this, the things that people are complaining about, like the red carpet and the flyover and
bullshit.
Yeah, that's whatever.
Whatever, we could have said, screw all that, flip him off, and then they keep killing each other.
That's what happened for the 4 years with Biden.
And that's what's still happening right now, too.
Well, after this meeting, we'll get back into the meeting, but he's meeting with Zelensky and the EU today.
Right.
About that. So he's probably going to tell them what was said at the meeting.
Yeah.
And try to figure out where the ground is or where they can compromise. Because they're going to have to give something up.
Yeah, and no, here's the thing, though.
Unfortunately.
Well, and that's it's weird that you say have to. Why do they have to?
Because unless you want to keep killing each other,
right.
you have any compromise. The whole heart of a compromise is that neither side is going to be happy with it. That's a compromise.
Right.
You want this. They want this. But you're each going to get a little piece.
Essentially, you're rewarding somebody who decided they wanted to, challenge another nation's
sovereignty. I agree 100%. My thought would be that Russia should not get any Ukrainian land out of this.
Yeah.
Give it all back and end this immediately.
But they won't.
But that's not going to happen.
No, they won't.
So if we say that...
Yeah. Now,
I think Ukraine even wants like the Crimea back, which they took in another action earlier.
It was one of the opening salvos.
So that's not going to happen.
So one thing though I did notice too when I was reading up on this, they said that
a brokered peace deal. Anyway,
they said last week when they were talking about the meeting before it happened that Trump was quoted as saying something about how he told Zelensky in Europe like, you guys are going to have to give up something, and or he told maybe he told Putin, he's like, oh yeah, they're gonna have to give up something, and Ukraine got upset when they heard that. They're like, whoa, like, why are you speaking for us about what we're gonna have to give up?
Yeah,
well, mainly because you would be demolished if it weren't for us right now.
Right. But it was more just like the don't make decisions for us kind of thing, like,
which is I understand that they're gonna be the final say.
Yeah.
And Trump even said that. He goes, I can present it to them, and they're the ones that have to accept it.
Yes.
Good.
But I can understand people like Ukrainians being upset about any of this. If you want to be, I get it.
Yeah, true.
But the bottom line is going to be either the war continues and they keep killing your people, because Russia, unfortunately, has a lot more people.
Yeah, and they just keep throwing them.
Putin does not care about the losses.
Not even a little bit.
And they've also got North Korean, and I don't know if there's any Chinese soldiers, like boots on the ground, but they have a lot of Chinese aid, and a lot of North Korean bodies to add to the meat grinder.
Yes, they can.
And they don't mind the losses. So I feel like the longer this goes on, Ukraine is only going to get weaker and weaker as far as the war goes. It's going to be harder and harder.
Well, Ukraine would have been gone like 2 years ago had we not supported them, and we given them all the military equipment that we've given them.
Well, most of the world is behind them.
Most of the world, I'd say almost the entire world behind them, except for the few countries that support Russia.
Yeah. Right. Which there are billions of Chinese.
There are a lot of Chinese. So I don't know if Chinese would. I don't know if they'd get in.
I don't think they're going to get in
unless there's a conflict with us.
They have a vested interest in keeping this war going, though. The more
financially,
the more. Well, China has a lot of other stuff between us and Taiwan and all that. The longer this goes on, and the more we look toward Ukraine and Russia, we're not looking over there, so they can do what they want.
Well, it sucks. This whole thing. I mean, this started under Biden in 22. And honestly, I think it started just because he was such a weak presence in the Oval Office. You think?
Well, that's easy to say, but who knows?
I think it's pretty obvious, and Putin knew that.
Putin was going to do this no matter what. It's not
we don't know that either.
I don't care about.
We know that.
I don't care about Biden at all as far as this goes. I know what you're saying.
I think a lot of it has to do with how weak he portrayed the presidency.
He wanted that land back. He was talking about it for years. They had already invaded once before.
They've been talking about it since they split off from Russia, from the USSR back in the day.
And
that's why it's sort of inevitable that Russia would try to come take it back because of what they lost.
Speaking of that, when the USSR disbanded, when they broke up into separate countries,
back in the U.S.,
I believe the number 3 nuclear power in the world at that time was Ukraine. And guess who wanted them to give up their nuclear weapons? Russia.
That's odd.
And the U.S.
The ones right next door to them?
Yes.
Well,
and us. Because they don't want a strong Ukraine because of this.
The land that they want back has a base there.
Let me finish. At that time, we talked them into giving up their nuclear weapons. And we guaranteed their safety. We did, the United States. What year was
this? Do you remember?
No, but there's a speech that Marco Rubio gave on this years ago. And we gave them our assurances that they would never be, we would have their back in an invasion. So we do have a responsibility to them, not to send soldiers over and die ourselves or anything, but we did say we would help protect them. And
all right,
and we have.
Here's the time.
But we do have some responsibility to them.
Well,
here's the timeline. So back in 2014, Ukraine was fighting a war in the Donbass region.
That's one of the areas they want back.
Yes. So after that, in 2021, Russia started amassing troops Russian-backed breakaway republics of the Donetsk and Luhansk, whose paramilitary forces had been fighting Ukraine during the Donbass. And despite multiple times of Russia claiming they were not going to attack, on February 24th, 2022, President Vladimir Putin announced a special military operation in which they crossed the border.
Invaded. Right. Yeah.
And it's been going ever since. So the initial stuff kind of was born out of the Donbass fight in 2014 because Russia really, really, really does not want Ukraine ever joining NATO.
That's the big thing.
For whatever reason.
Yeah. And that was actually brought up this weekend.
Nobody knows why.
They want.
No, we know why.
Why?
Because
they're getting all the same support they would get.
This is all on the western border of Russia. Okay, that is where they're weak.
Eastern.
It is eastern.
No. Northeast, southwest. Ukraine touches Russia on the east.
That is correct.
Russia is to the east of Ukraine.
Yeah, so we're saying eastern border.
No, Russia is to the east. It's Russia's western border.
Yeah. But you said Ukraine's western border.
No, I said Russia. It's Russia's western border that is the problem for Russia.
Yes.
Okay. So they don't want a strong NATO presence on their western border because we have a direct line in there. That is where they're the weakest militarily.
Okay.
So they don't want a strong NATO presence on their western border.
I think all the support that they have right now is not a whole lot different than what they would have if NATO was officially boots on the ground. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think Putin would start something with a NATO country.
That's
probably not. But in fact, I would almost say
the other side.
The weapons that we've given them are probably better than what NATO has.
Well,
like the military guidance systems that are U.S.
I'm
specific.
sure our weapons are probably the best in the
NATO,
world.
So they have them.
But
whether or not we give them the same stuff that we were selling to Ukraine.
Well, if Ukraine gets into NATO, Putin knows he can't touch them at that point.
Because then we would have military bases in Ukraine.
And then he'd be challenging the whole world.
Yes, then he couldn't attack Ukraine without it being against NATO.
Right. And that was actually one of the clauses that Russia said they wanted in this meeting is they said we can support them, but they can't be in NATO. They have to be like a neutral country.
Yes.
A neutral country, I think he called it.
But what I think the European leaders want is, without calling it NATO, they want to have like some peacekeeping forces on the border that would be international.
Right.
Like, just like, I don't know if they call it like supervising or
well, here's
intelligence.
Here's how you could justify it, right? You could say, as Ukraine, Russia, you've decimated our forces, and X, Y, and Z countries have agreed to voluntarily put military forces on the ground because you did this to us. But, and Russia can disagree all they want, but from a military standpoint, how do you say no? You're not allowed to have protection because even though we killed all your people.
I think that is going to be something that they're going to kind of end up with. If we do end up with a compromise,
because they'll say it's not NATO.
I think that's something that Russia could live with the land that
German troops. It's whatever.
I think Russia could live with if you let them keep the land they just took now. Right now, it's quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think they might be okay with that.
Yeah.
And
it'll serve the same deterrent as NATO would, because if
then Russia Ukraine could get the peacekeeping force in Ukraine.
If Russia strikes the new Ukraine while there are international troops on the ground and you hit a German, a whoever.
Well, I don't even think Putin's that stupid.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, he's not going to attack if there's other countries' troops on the ground.
That's what I'm trying to say. He would know better than to do that, so it would act as a form of deterrence. So
that is true.
Because then you're not only starting a fight with Ukraine again, but whoever's, I just killed troops from this country, so they're going to take it as a personal insult.
And that's another thing, like right now, that people are talking about, that we could have done more sanctions against Russia.
We had a ton. They were in real bad shape. If anything, he's probably in good shape now that Trump's in office.
There are a lot of things they could do.
You don't think he lifted some sanctions?
There are billions. He didn't lift any sanctions. He didn't lift any, but there were a lot of new sanctions that people want in place.
And then he said no.
And he hasn't done that, but that would just push them away from the table.
It's a fine balance when you're negotiating a peace like this.
So it is tough.
I mean, as much as you hate Putin and think he's a terrorist and a scumbag, and
there are at least tens of billions of dollars in Russian assets that we could seize.
Oh yeah,
and use that money to fund Ukraine.
We could do that, but when you do that, Putin's done talking to you. But that would be
right. So I think if this breaks down, that should be something they do. I can't believe we haven't done it already, but you can't do it at this point.
Well, it's also hard, like you said, with Zelensky, who's unwilling to give up anything. And then that was the big problem when Zelensky came to the White House initially. Mm-hmm. He was pushing him kind of like, this is how we're going to do it. And Trump's like, we're giving you everything you have. That's the only reason you're surviving right now. Okay. Because of everything we've given you.
So just to clarify my observation a second ago, as of August 18th today, the Trump administration has not removed or relaxed any global or export sanctions. They did, however, temporarily ease certain financial sanctions against Russia.
What's that mean?
But then say what they are.
Well, so like the stuff where they were shorting their economy and like not allowing them to have access to funds, he eased those sanctions.
And that's what I'm saying. Those are some of the billions of dollars that could
seize. The money ones are what really matter, in my opinion, though, because once you have the money, you can do lots of stuff with money.
I think after this meeting on Friday, and if things break down again, I think Trump's going to lose his shit and go off on him and do everything he possibly can.
Yeah.
Well, that's what people are hoping. Well, that if they really show no faith bargaining, that they're not bargaining in good faith, at some point you do have to crack down.
I don't think Trump's going to let Putin make him look stupid in the long run. Period. That's not how he's built.
So, and further reading says a lot of the financial sanctions were related to specific people, like Russian oligarchs. Yes. So those people like have access to things that they didn't have under the Biden administration.
Yeah, they're billions of dollars. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of money in the world banks.
The oligarchs are the ones that like support Putin, right?
Oh.
Who the hell knows? Yes, that's the money.
Yeah.
They have done an amazing job at switching their economy. They have a total wartime economy now. I mean, they're still existing.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have thought by this time, after years of this, that they would be everybody starving in the streets. Right. But apparently they're managing.
Yeah, I don't know how.
I'm sure it's not easy, but they're managing.
I wonder if they've got ration cards.
I don't know. I wonder if China sends them any food.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that could be some of the support they get from them.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But that I don't know about, though.
Do we think Russians like Chinese food?
I would think they'd have to.
Yeah, now they do.
Yeah. Now it's their favorite.
I order number 1.
It's better than no potatoes.
With egg roll combo.
Oh, God.
Oh, see, he does all these.
He's got them all.
He's got them all.
He's got them down.
They're all right there in the whole
I think today's going to be very telling when they have those meetings today and see how Zelensky and the EU respond to it and where they're going to. I think we're going to go. I think it's going to be a big week for it.
What I think is going to happen, it's going to be very like oxymoronic, is you guys just were talking about how like Europe and everybody's like saying, oh yeah, US, can you guys please like help end this? And then they're going to chastise Trump. They're going to say, well, why did you say all these things and do all these things? Well, hey, didn't you ask me to settle it?
Well, that's another. Yes, yeah. They're also a little worried about. They're trying to back Ukraine more strongly than what they're feeling Trump is doing right at this minute.
Yeah, but Trump is the only one really negotiating.
Like Marco Rubio again. I mean, he was talking yesterday, and he said there weren't any major things. It was not a good meeting.
No, it wasn't as productive as they wanted it.
But there were things that were agreed to. Possible beginnings of concessions that there was room to bring Ukraine in today and talk because there might be some wiggle room.
Yeah, so I do want to edit my statement at the start where Steve said I jumped the gun on this. I don't want to say that nothing happened. I think that Russia got more out of it than we did or Ukraine did. And in this meeting,
I would say it's a stalemate at this point.
Well,
Putin looks good coming out of this.
Politically, for Putin at home and stuff, this was great.
I'm not saying
because Russian TV.
He didn't really get anything.
But Russian TV is showing him shaking hands with the president. He's riding in the president's car.
Oh, I know.
There's planes flying over. I mean, for him at home, this is a big boost.
Yeah, there's something to be said for political capital.
But I think that is what he was requesting out of this. I need this, so we're going to do it.
That's part of the negotiation.
Because then it says he gets to show the rest of the world, hey, look, I'm on good terms with the U.S. president. We're shaking hands.
And at home, they're going to spin it even more strongly, obviously, but they don't Russia.
But that's the thing, right? They can get U.S. media outlet, footage of this stuff where it's not doctored. It's like, hey, look, this is what happened.
And to some extent, I'm sure Ukrainian people see the same thing.
Yeah.
So what is their opinion?
They're probably disheartened.
Well, I don't know, because I don't know what they would feel like, because if it was the United States and like say I lived in Rhode Island and we had been invaded and we lost some of those states, I don't know if now me living in Missouri being displaced, how I would feel about giving up Rhode Island, saying okay, The Chinese can have Rhode Island. We just need peace. I don't know how I would feel about that.
Probably not good.
There are millions of Ukrainians that are displaced, and their homeland's gone now.
It would both affect you physically because you were displaced, and it would affect you on a kind of a how can I put it, on a, you know how people say sometimes they're like upset because of on a principle level.
That's what I mean.
Because you're like, my home was invaded and another country now just gets to have it. Like, what the hell?
But then you could just say, well, then defend it.
But then on the other side,
this is on you, not on us.
Well, like I said, we did make promises, but if we don't hold them up, that's up to us. We don't have to.
Well, who made the promises?
Trump didn't make the promise.
Right.
I mean, the United States promised, get rid of your nuclear weapons. I can look it up and get back to you tomorrow with it.
I think Trump needs to contract out to Tony Stark.
Okay.
That would help.
Yeah, that would help.
But I mean, another thing, like I'm saying, maybe the land is a bad thing to lose. They've lost a lot of land, but 30,000 plus children have been kidnapped and taken to Russia. Now that's another big thing. They want them back.
Yeah.
Is it worth losing a little land? I mean, a lot of land, but 30,000 of your children—that's a lot of people.
Yeah,
it's over 30,000.
It really bothers me more that they just don't play by the rules. Like, it's a war. But
it is a war. I mean,
kidnapping children.
I know.
It just it leaves a bad taste because it's wholly with the intent to use them as bargaining chips.
Absolutely.
You know exactly what you're doing.
That's the whole reason. Earlier this year, I think it was at the beginning of the year when did Ukraine invade Russia? They went into Russia. Was that last fall or was that this spring?
They were actually making headway.
But they just weren't able to hold it because we held up some of the military aid at that time. It was just a crucial time.
That was bad. That
was a bargaining chip. That's the whole reason they did it, because then they'll be like, well, we'll give you some of your land back if you give us some of our land back.
Right. But it's tough. It's a tough situation.
Yes.
I mean, what do you do? Do you want to start a global conflict over this one area in the world that's not even part of NATO technically?
Maybe.
I mean, I feel bad for them. It sucks being in that situation. But how many different countries do we have to go in and save from countries that are around them?
Well,
this should all be on the EU, honestly.
Like on a drastic note, this isn't going to happen. But on a drastic note, what if like European forces all decided, okay, we are going to take up arms against Russia, and started bombing Russian cities and stuff? Would they stop? Would the Chinese get involved? I mean, I don't know.
It's hard to say, but honestly, it is their
kind of
it's very dangerous.
It's our problem, but it's not our problem. It's their country.
But that was what we said in World War II. It's not our problem. It's a European problem.
And then they fucked with us, and they found out.
But it wouldn't have happened to us if we had gotten involved earlier.
You don't know that.
Well, we would have been ready. We wouldn't have all our ships sitting in an Alaskan harbor.
I don't know.
They would have been. They would have been around the world.
I would not support American troops on the ground in Ukraine.
I'm not saying that either. I don't want that.
There's no way.
No United States citizens want that.
We've had some on the ground already.
Not that have gotten killed.
No, they're smart enough not to.
I don't even know what you're saying right now.
So at certain points while we've been aiding them, they've put military forces on the ground to help train them in like the use of the
training
weapons.
Purposes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
because we gave them the weapons.
But
we have had American individuals decide to show.
What I'm getting at though is during active combat, the enemy is not like, oh, that's the U.S. forces, we're not going to shoot them. They're just dropping bombs, so somebody could get killed while they're doing training. Right. That's what I'm saying.
I would say they're a little more strategic than that.
One would hope.
They're not even going to take it, because if they ever killed an American troop on the ground, they know we're involved now.
Right.
So there's no way they're that stupid. They're not going to do anything that stupid.
I hope not. But some of these Russian troops that they're putting out there were like kids.
Well, that's true, but they're not the ones dropping bombs either.
Ideally,
they're the ones that are on the ground getting slaughtered in the actual war.
And again, so if you're a Russian troop and you come across you see a bunch of people next to one of those like box missile like targeting system things, right? You're not like, oh, is that guy American? You're just.
I bet they are.
I don't think we have people.
I'm just thinking in a
territory. Training. We're not training them there.
I hope not.
Right. But yeah, this is a very difficult situation, and it's going to be it's like chess, honestly.
Yeah. And there's a lot to it. There's a lot we're not even talking about, and it's not all on Trump. This was, like you said, it started during the Biden administration. If we had sent them more help earlier on in this war, because
heck, 2014 was during the Obama administration.
I know we sent billions of dollars in help, but we slowly sent a little here, a little there, which was not the most efficient way for the Ukrainians for us to help them.
Right. Should have just a show of force at the very beginning.
If we had helped them more at the very beginning, with dumped a lot more money in early, it might have been a whole different
What really should have happened is in 2014, Obama and Putin should have had a rap battle, and when Putin lost, he would have just lost all confidence.
Why are you assuming Putin would have lost? Because Obama's black?
No, because Putin sucks.
I don't know. He might not suck at rapping, though. But
we'll never know.
We'll do an update on this probably next week because they're all meeting today.
We could do a shorter one or something. Yeah, there is going to be unless a lot more comes out of this.
Yeah, then we could probably do it at the end of the week. But that wasn't the only thing that happened. I hate to cut this out. There's so much to that, but we don't want this to be an hour long.
How long? We've been a little way. You know how long we've been?
Almost a half hour already.
It's definitely a half hour.
But there was another thing that people were bitching about this past week when Trump's brought federal troops into Washington, D.C. Not troops, but federal agents to police the streets because of
where the heck else are they supposed to be?
Well,
it ended up being National Guard from several different states that came into D.C.
For the people that are complaining about that, most of them don't live there. So they don't have to deal with the consequences of all the crime that's because Washington, D.C. is one of the highest crime rates in the country.
Well,
and they say it's down.
There are two sides. Yes,
but
crime in D.C. is down like 30%. Violent crime is down like 30%.
It's still way above where it should be.
But there was even a Democratic person on TV yesterday saying that crime is down a lot.
But as far as its
there are
numbers,
still some like very nice neighborhoods where people are worried about their safety. So there is both sides. It is down, but there are safety.
They're not doing enough. They said the crime rates in DC are higher than like all these historically dangerous countries and cities around the world.
So you're saying down but not out.
Well, down but not anywhere near where people want them to be. If you just were
going, depending how you want to spin this, you could spin it either way. If you want to just be like anti-Trump, you can say crime is down, which it is. But if you look at it from the other side, there are still a lot of violent crime problems.
They're probably one of the highest in the country, actually.
Why would just saying anti-crime or the numbers are down be anti-Trump?
Because they don't want federal agents.
They're saying that they shouldn't have brought the federal agents in because crime is down by such a big percentage. But if you talk
to every law enforcement agency in D.C., they all want them there.
Okay.
Just to assist them in what they're doing on a day-to-day basis.
I just mean being partisan, not anti-Trump necessarily, but Republicans are correct in saying that there is still a lot of violent crime and there are still a lot of safety concerns.
Too much violent crime.
And Democrats can also go on the other side and spin it and say crime is down, which it is.
Well, it's down, but you know what that means? That's down from the high of COVID.
Yes.
Because during COVID, it went crazy.
The dollar is down.
And it's only down from that high. It's not down, like, as far as its average goes throughout the years, it's not anywhere, it's not down from there. It's down from the COVID high. That's what people got to understand, and they don't seem to understand that. So I think any support that the president wants to give these cities and getting their cities back in shape and getting it to where it should be, then they should be grateful for it, honestly.
Well, and historically, the powers of the president have changed over the years. You know, they
have of course.
In 1776, or whatever. Yeah. I mean, these were the powers of the president. Mm-hmm. And over time, people have interpreted things differently and given the president more power, taken power away here and there. So this is a question, like, is he allowed to be taking federal control of states?
He's not taking federal control.
I know, but what I'm just saying is these are questions where he's doing things that presidents have not historically done. Not that he doesn't have the power to do it, but
the only time that would happen, because the rule of thumb is you give the power back to the states to decide themselves, would be martial law.
Right, but he did send federal people into California also.
For what purpose?
Because he said that they needed it and that they didn't want it. They said, no, we don't need your help.
Because of Gavin Newsom.
You didn't hear any of this?
No.
Gavin Newsom and Nancy Pelosi lost their shit over it. But ultimately, I think it worked out great.
That's been going on. Yes, and
it worked out fine.
And it's quiet now. You haven't heard anything about that lately, since that's why you haven't heard about it. But that was a month or more ago.
It was a couple months ago.
Yeah, a couple months ago.
But yeah, I think this is going to work out great for DC. And they should do it in every city. Look at Chicago.
So wait, was it related to ICE? Was it related to the migration?
Not the one in DC.
No.
In California was related to some of the violence against ICE officers and stuff.
The reason they would get to send them there is he made
There was no declaration of martial law.
No. But he made an emergency declaration about the border crisis.
These are all emergencies. That's what he's saying.
So that's why that's how you can justify it.
And what
so
the
if it's a
Democrats are saying is,
it's
crime last year was at this level.
Yeah.
Now it's down 30%.
Yeah.
So why is it? It's not an emergency. That's what they're saying.
Well,
but he still has a right, if it's his opinion that it's an emergency, that's what he's saying.
I would still classify it and many other major cities.
And we'll see what happens. See if it works out well.
You got these idiots out there protesting against them.
I think I would downgrade it as well. Like, you know what I mean? You can't say it was so bad and then tout progress and then say it's still as bad if you've got this much progress. You know what I mean? Like all the people they've like rounded up and gotten away. It's either
you're talking about ICE now.
Yeah. It's either that bad and hasn't gotten better.
Well,
so
this wasn't ICE related.
DC has nothing to do with ICE. DC just has to do with the murder rates.
Yeah, it's the violent crime.
They got gangs of people just going in and blasting stores and stealing thousands of dollars. And they just had a video of that yesterday.
Blasting, you say?
Yeah, they went in, they go in, they steal as much as possible with like 18 people, and they get the hell out of there.
That's smart.
I mean, if you're going to do it, that's the way to do it, I guess. But as far as cracking that, the police force can't handle that.
I mean, if movies have taught us nothing else, you want to get in and out quickly.
As quick as possible.
I do like movies.
Yeah. But
you're a movie guy.
I think it's going to work out great for DC, and honestly, I hope he does it in every other major state of the United
Well, within reason, yes. I don't.
There's nothing wrong with federal support.
It would be better if the states welcomed the aid.
But the problem is, most of the states that have problems in their cities are democratically run, and they don't want to give Trump a win.
Right.
So
the other option.
So we'll see how this works out too. We'll have to give this a little time and revisit this too.
Sometimes some of the aid is in the form of like blackmail too, where they're like, "Oh, you can have the aid, but you got to do this thing too," and they're like, "I don't know if I want to do that."
I don't know. A lot of that has happened.
We probably don't want to go on too long.
Big example for that used to be like the highway stuff, like where they'd be like, "Oh, we'll give you money for the highways, but you got to do this too."
That's one of the things I hate about politics in the 21st century. I mean, you can't get a bill through
without something.
No bill comes through without 35 things attached to it.
So,
it's ridiculous.
It's legal racketeering essentially.
That's a whole separate issue. That could be something we could do another episode on.
These federal assistance things that we're talking about, I think it's going to work out great. It's my opinion, and I think every other city should have it too.
Wait and see, I guess.
Why wouldn't the law enforcement in that local area want the assistance?
Yeah.
Because they're all overwhelmed.
And we'll see. That's what I think. I mean, things quieted down a lot in California.
Mm-hmm. It all depends where you are. Some law enforcement get touchy. They feel like somebody's stepping on their toes. And other times they don't care.
That's like during an investigation. If you got multiple agencies doing an investigation.
DC is very high visibility. You know, if it was like Arkansas and they were sending it, you wouldn't really hear so much about it. But
they don't have the crime.
DC, I mean, it's loaded with politicians. They all want to talk about this because all they want is their face on TV.
Like, what are the most dangerous cities in the U.S.?
It's pronounced Arkansas.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's your accent coming through again.
Yes.
Most dangerous cities in the U.S. Why don't they rank them?
I'm sure so.
And this is another thing.
Nobody wants to be on that.
I don't know how long you want to go on this, though, too, because we are in a long episode right now.
Like Memphis, Tennessee, that's probably the most dangerous one in the the
Oh, really?
And that's in a Republican state. But the problem with that is it's a democratically run city in a Republican state. So that all these states have all been and probably have been for the last 50 years run by Democrats.
But the Tennessee's governor could easily ask Trump to send in troops.
I think if this little thing goes well, I think he's going to.
Maybe. Well, we'll
like you said, we say troops, but it's not troops.
Well, and it's
federal
not
law enforcement.
And like in this case in DC, I know it's several different states that have sent their National Guard troops in.
And then they should. I mean, we got the National Guard in our prisons, for Christ's sake.
And they're not shooting civilians or anything. They're just helping with security. I don't know what they've done yet in DC, but nobody's died.
No. But we'll see how it plays out.
Yep.
What are you doing right now?
Whistling.
Is that I thought that was the end. Was that our...
It's better than he's chewing on his fingers, though.
Yeah.
It's better. I'd rather have you whistle, I guess.
Just keeping your mouth busy.
Oh, boy.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else.
Nope.
But, so we'll update probably both of these in the next...
Federalists,
See how it plays out.
All right.
Man, that's it. Have a good one. Thank you for watching Two Studs and a Dud. Please like, subscribe, and share this video.